Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So today we're going to talk about 5 plants, 5 herbs that you need to cultivate on your farm or your homestead. Now guys, there's 1,000 medicinal plants out there that you could be using. But if I could only choose 5 that I had to grow for medicinal and food purposes for my livestock and my family, these are the 5 that I would pick. I would pick garlic, comfrey, elderberry, turmeric, ginger. Now let's break them down and talk about them individually, why I would choose them, how I can use them. Let's start with garlic. If you boil garlic, pour it into a sprayer and dilute a little bit, you can actually use it as a pest deterrent on your crops, your edible, vegetable, and trees, your fruiting trees. You can use it as a pest deterrent. It's good enough for the Queen of England. It's good enough for Sam. Okay, you can also boil garlic, let it sit overnight, strain it, take that liquid and spray your dogs down with it. It will help keep ticks and fleas off of them, all right? You can use small amounts depending on the size of your dog. You really need to look into it. You can chop up fresh garlic and add it into their food once a week, and it just makes their bodies inhospitable for fleas, ticks, and parasites, okay? Also, garlic was known as the poor man's penicillin, all right? So there's a reason that the older people knew to plant and to dry garlic for the entire year. It actually has a lot of medicinal uses. When they take garlic juice, the extract from garlic, and put it in a petri dish with bacteria, it's absolutely insane what the bacteria will do to get away from that garlic. Like, it kills them on contact. It has been known to be used in poultices to help fight cancer. It is an amazing medicinal plant, and I highly encourage you to grow it on your farm. You will not find a lack of ways to use it, guys. You can make an old timer's tonic that you can take daily to help boost your immune system. And if you live in the South like I do, garlic literally goes in every single dish that I cook. Every single dish that I cook calls for garlic. So, very versatile plant. Let's move to comfrey. So this is Russian comfrey Bocking 14. It does not propagate by seed, but it will propagate by root cuttings. You can see I've got one there, one here, and one here, because I did some root cuttings and I went ahead and started extending out how much comfrey that I have. Now this is a beautiful plant. All right, look at the flowers on that. It's stunning. This plant will draw so many good pollinators to your garden, guys. You can plant it right out in the middle of your garden, which you see, it literally is planted in the middle of my garden. One of the uses of this plant is for bone set. So say that you have a lamb or a sheep or a cow, a horse, a dog that's lame in a leg or a joint. This is a plant that you can actually make comfrey poultices with. You can dig up the root, you can crush the root, and you can distill it and use that to help fight cancer, to help fight inflammation in the body. When we have any birthing mothers on the farm, regardless of what breed we're talking about, this is a plant that I begin feeding to them a week before they deliver and a couple of days after, because it has been known to stop internal bleeding. Guys, a very versatile plant. You can use it to feed your livestock. You can take it and chop and drop around your plants. Tomato plants love it. So you can take the green leaves, put them on the ground around your tomatoes. They'll biodegrade back into the soil and feed that tomato plant throughout the season. I also use this plant to make my potassium liquid fertilizer that I foliar spray all year long. This is the only thing that I specifically use for potassium on our farm to do this entire quarter-acre market garden. Now the third plant that I highly suggest you use is elderberry. Now we had 2 wild elderberry trees that were growing here on our property prior to Hurricane Ida. Took them both down. Now, how did I know they were elderberry? I had my horticultural specialist for St. Helena Parish come out to my property and walk it with me. And I asked her specifically, is this actually elderberry? And she was like, yes, ma'am. This is the healthy, safe species of elderberry that you can use for medicinal reasons. Okay, the reason I say that, there is a faux elderberry bush out there that can make you super, super sick, and it is poisonous. So please, get with your horticulture specialist if it grows wild on your property. They won't charge you. They will come out. They're an extension of the USDA, NRCS. It is their job. Make an appointment with them. They're not going to charge you anything. They don't care what you're doing on your property. They'll simply look at the trees and the plants growing there, and they will help you make identification of certain plants. Guys, do not make the mistake of thinking what you have is elderberry and ingesting it, and it is not elderberry. It will make you extremely ill, you and your animals. But I encourage elderberry because during it comes into season and you start picking your berries close to the end of summer here in Southeast Louisiana, all the way up until, like, I don't know, mid-fall. And you can make extremely powerful antioxidant, immune boosting drinks out of it. When I'm through making those, I take the berries and dump them into the chicken coop for the chickens, and they love them. Warning, it is going to turn their poop purple. So don't freak out. It will also stain your hands and everything that you are using to work with elderberry. But it grows natural and easy where I live. So I'm not necessarily worried about planting more elderberry bushes here on my property, because I can go across the street and pick all the elderberry that I want. So I can actually forage for it. Eventually, maybe I'll add them back. But I was so upset when they got taken down with Ida. But I did want to tell you, elderberry is super important, guys. Turmeric. All right, so I just planted my first turmeric here on the farm. Turmeric is an amazing plant for anti-inflammatory needs. Okay, so again, if you've got an animal that is limping, an animal that is swelling somewhere, or you have arthritis, you're having gout, you're having issues with a body's response, negative response to something, turmeric is a great plant to have. It's super easy to grow. It grows in abundance in the temperate zone that I'm in, which is zone 9A, 9B, okay? It does like well-draining soil, so a raised bed or a container might be your best bet in Southeast Louisiana, since our grounds here can get really wet for a really long time. Your next one, ginger. Guys, I did an entire video on the amazing health properties of ginger for your livestock as well as for you. Okay, so ginger, again, same family as the turmeric, super easy to grow. You can grow them in the same beds, but if you have breeding rabbits, it will increase the sperm count of your males. So I'm assuming, since a rabbit is a mammal, that it would do that for any male mammal that you're feeding it to. And I know that right now across the world, we're seeing a reduction in males being fertile. Now, I believe that because of the toxins in our foods and the chemicals and all the craziness that they put into our food, that is by design. That is my personal belief. They're all about population control. So if you want to get your animals breeding better and have a better chance at a successful breed, look up the type of livestock you're wanting to increase the sperm count on that male for. Do your research into ginger and start feeding it to them by weight, size, and how much they tell you to. Another thing about ginger that you probably won't hear many places, but you will hear it here. Ginger will cure the flu in birds. Now, I found it funny when I found that scientific paper that they never actually called it the bird flu. But if a bird has the flu, duh, it's the bird flu. So ginger can cure bird flu in your flocks. It can even prevent it. So you can boil your ginger, let it cool off, pour that liquid, that water into their waterers, and they'll drink it. You can then finely chop up all that ginger that you just boiled and toss it out there for them as a treat. You can do so much for your animals by just adding in some herbs and medicinal plants to their diets. You can boost how many kits you're having with rabbits, how healthy the milk production of your cows are, or your goats. You can naturally worm. I know a lady here in Southeast Louisiana that naturally worms her goats. And that is the most beautiful herd of goats I've ever seen in my life. Like, she has never used an over-the-counter commercial wormer. She just does not do it. She worms by the moon phases, specific amounts of wormer per size, per animal. She's got an entire sheet. She's been doing it for years, and she is amazing at it. I am telling you, there are people out there who think outside the box, and they have proven time and time again that their flocks and their herds are more beautiful and more healthy than the average, because whatever you put your energy into is what is going to grow. Whatever you put your energy into is what is going to produce. So it's super easy to open up a bag of bagged feed and grab a syringe and pop an animal with an injection and be done with it. It takes a lot more time and energy to do your research, to learn about your herbs, learn about your plants, learn about size, weight, conversion. It takes time, and you can accidentally screw up. That's why I tell you, always do your own research. But I can tell you guys this. This is how we've been running ours for 3 years now. Our entire rabbitry, our entire chicken flock. When we had quails, which we're going to get a different type because I want a bigger quail so I can butcher. When we had quails, we did them the same way. My dogs the same way. I'm telling y'all, the vet was so impressed. I know what they thought when I called and said I have a 3.5-year-old German Shepherd livestock guardian, lives outside, never been to a vet, needs to come in. I knew what they were thinking. This poor dog is going to come in filthy. He's going to come in heartworm positive. He's going to come in injured, ill, dirty. I just know because I'm human. And that's what I would think if somebody said that to me. And the response I got from the vet and the ladies that work there were, oh my gosh, he's absolutely phenomenal. He's so healthy and no heartworms. And I do it all herbally. So thank you guys for watching Starkey Farmstead. Please like, comment, and subscribe. As you can see, he's looking like he's feeling a little better. He is on antibiotics and steroids and a raw diet right now. Completely raw diet right now. You guys keep us in your prayers. I will keep you updated about Hammer. Please like, comment, and subscribe.